Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha Bean of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today, we have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Picasso from 3AM Tokyo.
And I'm Eliza.
Welcome, welcome. I love talking to guests, and every guest I talk to, I loved going back to the beginning. And I always say the beginning kind of, chart the trajectory of where we're going to be going in life. Like our little habits that we pick up and the things that we love to do. So tell me a little bit briefly, individually, and whoever can go first, go for it, a little bit about your childhood and kind of what made you get into music.
Eliza, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, I started in the theater. This is very convenient. I am drinking out of a mug from the very first show I was ever in.
Awesome.
Yeah, coincidentally, it was Evita at the Walnut Street Theater, and I've always been doing it. I was in theater my whole life. I played one of the American Girl dolls in New York City, and I was always having a bit of a balance between a normal life and running around being in shows. And that's where I really discovered my love for being on stage in general. Then I went to college for theater at Temple University. And after I graduated, I ended up actually going and singing in bands. I wound up in a wedding band for a little while.
Nice.
And then after a few years with the wedding band, I found my way to 3AM Tokyo.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that.
That was short and sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go into more detail, but we don't,
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yes. So for me, I kind of started out as I'm gonna keep it short and sweet too, as a dancer, for some hip hop artists back in the day. You know, as I was growing up, I was always in love with dancing and music, and the same thing Eliza was into, just being on stage since I was like 6 or 7. It was my first stage appearance, and once I got into the world of dance and started dancing behind rappers and being on tour, you can only go but so far in that stuff. So I was always doing music, started doing producing, started writing, and that pretty much paid my bills for a long time. But then also I still love the stage, so I formed a group, with the intention of just performing, just having fun and performing, and we did that for several years. It was always a full male band, all male band, and I decided a year and change ago, to maybe add a different voice that's going to elevate us even more. And hence, there comes Eliza. She did like one show with us. She didn't know that she was auditioning, but actually auditioning her. I actually had a few girls come in and do some shows, and she's the one I clicked with the best. She came in, she had her material, and it was love since then.
I love that. I love that. I mean, and you must, kudos to you, like putting the band, like to put all that, the group together. I mean, I'm sure I can't imagine like the pressure of like, how do you know it's going to click and how it's going to work? Like, I find it very fascinating when people have groups together.
It's hard dealing with multiple emotions and multiple personalities, but you get to know people, you get to know what to say, what not to say, or when to say it, when not to say it. You kind of get to know those people, and then you just, because it's really all about, when it comes down to it, it's really about the people that come out to see you and about the music. It's really not about yourself.
Mhm.
You get self-fulfillment from being on stage and singing, and we getting paid for it. I mean, what better can you can't say nothing better than that. So like, you just kind of learn and navigate how to deal with several different emotions at the same time, or several different personalities at the same time.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Your own.
No, that's really, really cool. Let's talk a little bit about your single. Like, I really like it. It's fun. I was like, oh, I had to play. I played it around the house. I was like, okay, I was getting into it. That was really fun.
That's good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So tell me about the process. Like, I love hearing like, when something like a body of work comes together like that, and I just imagine like what was that like? It's down to like making the beat and then what you're gonna talk about, the subject matter, and all of that.
Oh yeah, we did all that. Go ahead, Eliza.
Yeah, so Picasso had the beat already. He had an idea for this song that he told me about months before we ever even started to consider actually making it. And he had this original concept for it. And he said, I have this song and it's going to be, oh boy, you make me feel like, whoa. And I was like, okay, well, we'll run with that. That's what he said. And then we were opening up for Flo Rida. And I was like, Picasso, if we're going to open up for Flo Rida, I feel like we should have something new instead of just bringing back stuff that we've had forever. And it was the first new song since I'd joined the band. So we said, okay. And then we did it really quickly. I mean, really, I went up there to Picasso's place up by New York and recorded my part. We wrote it all there on the spot that day. Went home. Then, about a day later, Picasso sent me the rest of the song with all of his stuff
crap.
on it.
Wow.
And yeah. And then I don't know what you did after that, but
Yeah, it was fast.
Nick mastered it.
It was definitely, yeah, it was fast.
That's pretty incredible. So you like you Jay-Z'd it, you just go into the booth and you just like that.
To be honest with you, I did a couple versions of it, but because once the hook was on there, all I had to do was just like get that vibe, and I was like, okay, well, I did it. I did a first verse of it, and some words were right, some words weren't. So but I just did it. I just filled in what I needed to fill in, and it was that quick. And once I had that melody, I just was like, okay, that's it.
Is it a feeling for you, like to know, like
it was? Yeah. Plus, I had just came back from Turks and Caicos, so I mean, I was kind of already in that vibe. So it just that feeling of the Afro beat and all that stuff. Anyway, it just feels good when we're out in clubs and you hear it and you feel it. It just feels good. And for some reason, somehow, some way, we mixed hip hop, Afro beat, and pop together with no intention. It was just like that's the way we wrote it. And where her voice is very poppy, so it was like, okay, this just works. So it was a good process. It was magical.
I love that. I love that. Tell me a little bit about like so first of all, I love the name. Where did you guys come up with the name for the group? I was just so curious. I was like, that's different.
Do you want the made up version or you want the real version?
Real version.
Okay, the real version is not as exciting. People ask us this all the time because it means nothing. People come out and see us and they've never seen us before. It was like, oh, we thought it was going to be a whole bunch of Asian people on stage, and we're like, oh, they ask us this stuff, but no. So I'm going back some. So this is probably before Eliza was born, but when MySpace was coming out, MySpace was ending.
I was around for that.
Towards the end of MySpace, we had a contest to come up with a new name. We had another name before. I had another name before, and I was getting sued for that name because we were doing too much business, and they noticed, and they were like, well, blah blah. So we had a contest for the name. We were in Virginia somewhere, and I was doing a cover of a 311 song. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was a 311 song. And the guy was like, that's what you name yourself. Oh, it was 3 a.m. I was doing the song 3 a.m. And he's, you should name yourself 311. And I'm like, but that's the song I'm doing. He's like, no, I'm at 3 a.m. And it kind of stuck with me. It did. It stuck with me for a little bit. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, we're crazy. 3 a.m. is the witching hour, blah, blah, blah. It made sense. 3 a.m. It kind of rolled off the tongue. Then there was a group out in California called 3 a.m. So I'm sitting behind stage somewhere in Delaware, and I see written on the wall, Tokyo. And I'm like, I'm going to throw Tokyo on the back of it. And that was it. That's the
That's
real
cool.
version. It's not as exciting as the one we tell, and we like, oh yeah, we were in Japan and we hung out and it was crazy. And we said Tokyo at 3 a.m. in the morning. No, that's not how it.
No, I love that. That's really cool. No, that's really, really awesome. I was gonna say, so as the only female in the group, how does it feel like just to bring that feminine energy and just like you're being your own and your own, like, and you carry it well. Talk about that. Were you nervous when you first got the, like, just being a part of the group, and like how do you feel now being, I mean, I'm sure you guys seem super comfortable and like you guys vibe so well. I could just feel the energy now.
Honestly, it was really exciting for me. I don't know if I was nervous, but I definitely had adrenaline because even though I loved it, you know, every project I'd ever been in before, I was never the only girl. So I never got to really do all the songs I wanted to do. And I was kind of itching for that. And then when the opportunity presented itself, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going. And it's really exciting. And I like being the only girl. I think it's fun. I really do. I like being the only girl, but not being the only person, because
I
then on stage
see.
I also get to take breaks sometimes. You know, it's like I'm not singing everything. It's not as difficult as doing the entire show. It's not like I'm by myself,
Yeah.
Right.
but
Yeah.
but yeah, I do like doing all the girls' songs. It's really, really fun.
I think that's really cool because I can imagine, like, I'm sure, like, individually, you guys have your own thing, but like
Yeah.
to merge it together, I just always find that very fascinating. And then, nowadays, like groups, it's rare to see groups, together, and it's really nice to see and refreshing to see groups that are together.
It's true.
Um, so kudos to you guys. So you said you opened up for Flo Rida. Now he's from Florida, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like I'm from Florida as well.
I'm from Tokyo. No.
Not, not,
Might be. I don't know.
no,
So how was that experience? Like what was that feeling like?
it was good. It was awesome. You know, he has tons and tons of hits, and his demographic spans pretty much everybody. So it was good for us to go in and do a multiple types of songs and do our new single and and everybody that was there to see him. I mean, we had people there to see us as well, but of course he had 95% of everybody to see him. But doing the new song, it came across really, really well, and everybody enjoyed it, and everybody, clapped, and because we ended with that one.
Nice.
It was it was a rainy night, but people stayed, so that was good. So it seemed like people enjoyed it, so it was a good thing.
Nice, nice. Because I can't imagine, like it must be a testament to like to you, right? You feel like, okay, we are doing something right to open up for someone such a big artist. Like I feel like even
Yeah,
my career being in the film side, when I got to work with Jordan Peele, I was like, okay, I'm on the right track. Like it's a feeling of like validation of like the hard work does pay off. So I think
absolutely,
that's awesome. That's really,
absolutely.
really cool. So I like asking this question. There's no wrong answer, but the three levels of influence, money, power, and respect. And if you could choose one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Oof, oof. I'm going to go with power.
I
And
like that. Okay.
I'm a Virgo,
Mm.
so kind of fits me. I'm always one that's ready to lead, um, and pretty much in pretty much everything that I do. I can sit back and I can take direction and listen and then lead when it's my time. And I think with power comes the money and comes the respect. You know, you can earn the respect. You don't, you know, there's some people with power that has no respect, but if you do it right, you know, you can earn the respect. So, but with power, I know definitely comes the money. We all need the money, but I think power would be mine.
That's great. What about you?
That's a hard choice. Part of me
It is.
wants to say money, but I feel like realistically, from the day to day, I'd rather have respect.
Mm.
Because a lot of the time people don't know if you have money or not or anything when you're going through your day-to-day life. But if everyone treats you with respect, I don't know. I just think it's a better way to live.
Mm. I like that.
I would want to be respected because then, I don't know, if you have like a lot of power or a lot of money and people don't respect you, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of in vain.
I
It's kind of
see.
in vain. I don't
And
know.
that happens a lot.
Yeah.
But I do agree with Picasso though, because he made me think. Because it's like if you do have power and money, you can kind of sway people to respect you anyway.
But
So
you can earn the respect. You can
yeah,
earn
it's
it.
kind of like a chicken or the egg question.
Yeah, that's a hard question.
Like, what can you harness to get the other two? I don't know.
Right. Right. Right.
That
Yeah.
that's a good question.
It
Thank
is.
you. Thank you. I love hearing everyone's answers. It's always good to hear. No, great answers, really. Both great answers. I don't think there's a wrong, you know, there's like not like the right one. I think everyone it's like it's all about your individual, you know, thing.
What do you
Right.
pick?
I would go with power as well because
Yeah.
um, you know, I don't need anyone to respect me, and I'm not going to meet all the people that follow me ever, right? I think with power, I can actually get things done that for like that need to actually change in the world. I think without that, you
Yeah.
can't move anything, the needle. And I
Yeah.
think, yeah, it's like Jay-Z, you know, I don't think a lot of people like have to respect the man, but the man is, you can't help, but the guy is powerful. He moves however he moves.
Yes, he
So,
makes it happen.
yeah.
I
Right.
might change my answer.
No.
I might. That's
No.
true.
Yeah. So that's what I would do. I was gonna say like with music, and I'm sure it's kind of difficult like to get your work out there, your body of work with it because it's such a saturated, you know, there's so many artists out there. And how do you like what keeps you going and how do you get through those tough times of like keep pushing at your music when you know there's so much like to like get through and like to get your songs heard and seen? What keeps you guys going?
Well, for me, I mean, it's a lot because I've been doing it for a long time, and you know, you hear a lot of no. I said this the other day. You hear a lot of no's, and you know what did Edison say that something like, and I'm kind of paraphrasing. It took, you know, 2,000 times for him to figure out how the element actually works. You know, so it takes a lot of when you're in this business. And I say this all the time to people, you know, friends that I've grown up with. When you're in this business, whether it be anything with the arts, it's nonstop hustle. You've got to keep it going no matter what. And it sometimes, most of the time, it takes a long time. And, you know, people that I grew up with is like, oh, why you haven't blown up to Jay-Z level yet? Well, you know, that's okay, but I'm working and I'm feeding my family doing the stuff that I love, you know?
Mhm.
And in our business, there's so many no's. You just have to keep working towards those yeses. And those yeses pile up. And the more times the yeses pile up, I mean, you get more and more opportunities, you know, and you just got to, you can't let anybody just bring you down. And that's where most of the people that are in our industry fail is they listen to all the people that's not really actually helping them out. You know, they're actually keeping them down. You know, so that's what my thing would say. I would say that.
Yeah.
I
So like,
totally agree with that.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's the thing too. I mean, you go through life, not everyone is going to believe in you. And that's just a fact. Because, you know, it's not It's not like math. Everything is subjective here. And someone is going to think you're great. Somebody else is going to think you suck. And that's just what it is. Then there are a
Facts.
lot of people who are just going to be indifferent as well. And you kind of can't worry about it. You have to almost do a lot of things in a way for yourself. And based off if you think it's good, if you think it's cool, if you like it. And you have to also really believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, why should anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just really, I think that goes for anything in life, not even just this, anything.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, no, you're right. If you don't believe it, then why would anybody else believe that?
Yeah,
Exactly.
you almost have
One,
to trick people into it and
right?
be like, you're so great.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm just curious of that because I always wonder. Like, I know the film world for myself, it's a difficult thing, because I started out doing cinematography as a female cinematographer, turning director. It's a working with a lot of males in the business. It's can be a very pressing, but I think at the end of the day, like you love what you do, you're not going to stop doing it. So
Right.
you know, it's like
But
it's
yeah,
a life thing. You're sold out to it. You're married to the game, as they say.
That,
yeah.
that's
Um, yeah. A a little fun question. So okay, so if you could be managed by any music artist, living or dead,
ooh,
who would you let manage you and why?
living or dead.
Living or dead, anyone.
Oh man,
I know it's tough. It's a tough one.
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go with my first impulse on this one. And I would
Ooh,
say Taylor Swift, because that girl knows what she is doing.
yeah,
Who?
she does.
So,
Who?
Taylor Swift,
Oh,
she is genius. She puts Easter eggs in everything. That girl has, she has things and surprises planned out for her fans that keep them guessing and on their toes. I mean, for years in advance. She's so smart. She's so
Yeah,
smart.
yeah, she is.
Definitely her.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one.
I'm going to go with my gut as well. And this is going to be off the wall, but
Oh, I'm
I'm going
excited.
to Vandross.
Oh, nice.
That's because I'm going to tell you this, because he's the man that made me want to sing.
Wow.
I'm serious. He's the one. He's the one that my mom turned me on to. And, the one person that I always wanted to meet. And thank God we did meet, once in an elevator at the studio in New
Love
York.
it. I love that.
um, and we had a nice little discussion all the way down, and out to the car, and that was but he was the one that made me want to go from dancing when I was a kid into singing. He's the one.
Nice.
You know, I'm going with my gut on that one. I don't know if it's good as a manager, but still, I'll just be around him. Just me being around him would be great.
That's cool. I love that story. That's awesome. An elevator. Oh, I love those
Later.
moments. Don't you? Don't you love those like those really spontaneous moments in your career? You're like, what? Did that just happen?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're coming off the elevator. We're actually coming from the Studio 54 studios that were there at the time in Sony, and he was coming down. I guess he was coming down from the top floor. We were on the whatever floor, and he got on. And you know how you always say, if I ever meet somebody, what would you say, and all that stuff. You
Right.
know, had a lot of people, a lot of people. I've been around tons and tons of people, but when he walked on that elevator, I said, "Hey, Luth," and just froze until he started talking about his album, and then that opened me up, and then we started talking about his last album, what inspired me, blah blah blah. We had a nice conversation. So that one that's the one.
I love that. I have one elevator story, and I think it's one of the most randoms I met Liza Minnelli on an elevator at Soho House in California one night, coming from a meeting, and I looked over. I was like, this is freaking Liza Minnelli. What the heck?" And she had her fur coat on, and she was just like a diva, but very, very lovely. And I just like, I think I remember like just her smell as she like walked there. I was like, that's Liza Minnelli. Like she was so sweet. It was the most random.
Nice.
I love those moments. Um,
Wow.
what advice would you guys give to an artist or someone that wants to get into music? What advice would you give?
Go ahead, Liza. You have great advice.
I do. Somebody brand new. If you're brand new and you want to get into music, I would say just get yourself out there and don't worry about anybody else's reaction at first, because sometimes it's hard to put yourself out there if you go and you're like, I'm going to go and sing on my TikTok, and then you get like 3 likes. You might feel discouraged by it, but don't ever feel discouraged. Get out there, be on stage, get out there in person. And anytime that you have a fear, try and tackle it. You know, if you're afraid of getting up in front of people, go do it. If you're afraid of certain sizes of crowds or what people may think, go do it. Because, you know, in those times when you feel there's a conflict or that you need to push and you're scared, that's where you really grow. And that's where everything seems smaller and you start to get better and better. And then eventually something will happen for you. You might not know what or where or how, but something will come your way if you
Yeah,
just stick with it.
love
Yeah,
that. Love
I
that.
agree. I
Love
agree.
that. Well, thank you guys for coming on. It was a pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you
you
Um,
for
for
having
having us.
yeah. Where can people find you guys on social media? All that
So
good
I'm
stuff.
one answer. 3amtokyo.com.
That's
Yeah.
it. Everybody heard it
Because
here first.
go there on your phone or on the computer, all the social medias, all the links, all the YouTube, it's right there. All our schedule where we're playing, everything is just right there. And you can just click, 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 go wherever you want to go and enjoy all the videos, you know.
Yes.
So
Thank
yes.
you.
And my suggestion to all your music industry people, I mean, I'm sorry, movie industry people, which I got a lot of you friends out there in LA. If you're watching this, use our song in your TikTok and Reels. That's it. Do whatever you need to do and use the song. Whoa, oh, oh, 3 a.m. Tokyo. This is your boy Picasso. That all rhymed by the time, by the
I love it. Use it. Use it. I gotta get back on TikTok. I gotta figure out how to do that stuff.
you're on Instagram. I'll follow you.
Okay, yeah, I'll do an Instagram thing. I'll do it. I'll use it. I'll do it.
Oh, yeah, on the reels.
Yeah, I'll definitely use it on the reel. I'll definitely use it. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Wishing you all the best, and thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.